What's up, America? This is Kim with Geauga Farms Academy. Thanks for watching and happy Thanksgiving. We're actually stuck home because our 1-year-old Neil woke up sick today. So we're going to be eating Brussels sprouts and deviled eggs and whatever random meats we have around the house because we were planning on going and seeing our family, but that's not happening. So I thought since it's the holiday time, it's always an important time to think about gun safety. So I thought I'd give you guys some tips and tricks and some things we use to keep people safe. I know some people don't even have children at home, but some of these tips and tricks can help you guys out if you ever have company over. It's important that we keep those guns safe and out of the hands of people they shouldn't be in. One thing I wanted to show you guys, a lot of friends and family members, when they come over, they're really impressed with this and they get it right away, and that is that we put a keypad lock on our bedroom door. So no, this isn't gonna keep bad guys out. Obviously, they can just kick down the door, but what it does do is it keeps children or people who are in your house, maybe guests when you have parties, or people you have working, like you might have a plumber here working. You can keep your valuables or things that could be dangerous in the hands of others behind the door. And yes, we still have a gun safe, but it just adds that extra layer of protection. And we have a whole video, a little bit expanded video on this. I'll put a link below. It's really cool. Once you go inside, it automatically locks after 30 seconds, so you don't have to remember to keep locking it. Just makes an easy, quick place where I can put things and get them out of hands of little people. So it's locked now, so unless you input the key code, it will not open. There's also a key that if the battery ever did die, you could open it. We have that hidden somewhere special in the house. But honestly, we've had this on here for over 4 years and we've only replaced the batteries one time. So it's not something you're always having to worry about replacing. Another important tip I forgot to mention is it's great for keeping those little kids away from their presents. It helps me hide presents from my little 7-year-old. And also, I know a lot of people aren't concerned about their own children because maybe they've been practicing gun safety since they were younger and now they're, teenagers or older children and you trust them. But you always have to think about their friends and who they're going to bring over and that peer pressure, because if you've had your kids around guns since they were little and they understand gun safety and it's something that's every day, it's not unusual, it's not taboo, it's not something they're going to play with when you're not around, but you bring a friend over who hasn't been around guns and now you got something fun and taboo and they might want to do things that aren't smart. Before we get into some more tips on training children about gun safety, another tip I have for all of you is that I know a lot of people want to have their guns so they can just grab it out of bed real quick, turn over and there it is. But it's important. We always tell people you need to get your butt out of bed, because I don't know if you've ever woken up and you're like, is it day? Is it night? Or maybe you had a bad dream and you wake up and you're not even sure if it's real or not. So you need those few seconds. So make sure it's somewhere where you have to get up and move even just a few seconds, just so you can get your mind working and making sure you're making a clear, conscious decision, because it would be terrible for you to do something stupid just because you woke up and were confused. So don't have it like, I know some people like put it under their pillow or they put it in between their mattress or right on their nightstand where they're going to grab it real quick. Make sure it's somewhere where you have to get up and think before you make a decision. And hopefully you're doing your job and you have those layers in place on your home defense. And we've went over this many times so that you know something's coming, so that they're not surprising. You have lights, you have cameras, you have sensors, you have all these layers so you know someone's coming long before they get to you. So since we have children, and obviously we have a firearms academy and Neil's a police officer, a lot of people ask us about gun safety in children. One of the biggest questions I get is probably, when is the right time? And my response is always, you know your child best. I know some 6-year-olds who are ready to start shooting, and there's some 12-year-olds who are not. So you know their maturity level. It also goes with, are they interested? We have people who want to come and do family lessons with us, and I'm like, number one rule is the kid actually has to want to learn and be interested. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. So you know the maturity level of your child and know when it's the right time to start. When it is time to start, you want to start off with just sitting down with them, showing them how it actually works so that they understand it's just not like gonna randomly go off. Know the parts, not all down to the little nitty gritty, but the general parts of it. And then also practice and talk about gun safety. And what we do is just randomly ask your kid, tell me the gun safety rules. And when you're sitting down to dinner or just you're driving in the car to school, just randomly throw it in there so they're always thinking about it and making sure you're constantly refreshing that. In our women's only classes I get a lot of new women who come in and say, I know it sounds silly, but I'm just afraid of guns. And I always tell them it's great to have that healthy respect for firearms, and you should teach your children to have that too. Not to fear them per se, but to understand and respect them and know that if they are not used properly, that there can be serious consequences. It's also important that you set a good example. So you talk about gun safety all the time, but are you practicing what you're preaching? Your kids are always watching you all the time, so make sure you're setting a good example for them. Another mistake a lot of people make, and it's my opinion, I don't like people who leave guns in purses in cars. That's just asking for a mistake. And I know they always say, well, I always make sure I take it out. But listen, there's always going to be a day when you're not feeling well, or you got in a fight with your spouse, or we're just human beings and we just forget things. So I just highly discourage people from leaving their guns in purses in cars, because that's how people who shouldn't get a hold of them accidentally do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Happy Thanksgiving from Neil and I. We all appreciate you guys watching us. We always love hearing from you guys, so please leave us a comment, a like, a share, all that fun stuff. Make sure to subscribe here on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and we put all of our premium content on Patreon. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.